crypto had a stagnating weekend. We saw the same range more or less for late Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today is Monday. We should see some movement, especially after the stock market opens. But in the middle of all this stagnation, of all this sideways market, we saw some indicators that could, again, with everything that we covered before, get us to believe that the market will indeed rally. Bitcoin will indeed rally to maybe 120, maybe $150 by end of this quarter. And why is that? Well, we're going to talk about it in today's video. So hello folks, welcome. I hope your weekend was very good. Mine actually was, as you're gonna see later in the video. On Friday, I posted a spread that we opened for 5% ROI. That one, we did not get the full premium of 5%. We actually got 2 point something, I think it was 2.4%, which is still very fantastic. And throughout the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we opened also other spreads. So I'm gonna show you how that strategy is working. I'm working a little bit with AI here, with GPT, to analyze volatility for me and open these mark trades, not only with volatility, but also a little bit of Greeks involved. So I'm going to show you the returns that we had. So far, we are 4 trades in. The 4th I opened this morning before I record this video. This one will expire tomorrow, so we cannot know if it is going to be profitable today or tomorrow, but I'm going to show that to you anyways. But spoiler alert, all the 3 ones that we've did so far, all of them made me money. So we have been profitable. Of course, I started with $100 that I'm using as margin. So 100, 120, this is the amount of money that I'm willing to play, just test out this strategy, and has been working fine. So when I get to 5 winning trades, I'm going to scale to a little bit more. And then when I get to 15, 20, I'm going to scale to a bigger size. And I'm doing that because eventually on the topics, we're going to have open copy trade. I don't know if you have seen like Hyperliquid, where everyone can just create a copy trading strategy and you can actually deposit here. We have that on Bybit. We have that on OKX, I think, where you can copy these traders. So I'm trying to see this to see eventually we can open my own and you can open yours, and then people can deposit money to copy these strategies, and you of course get a little commission. So this is why I'm training with that. And again, because this is an options channel overall, so it makes sense that you see in-hand trading. So I'm trying my best to make sure these are performing very well. So that being said, let's actually look at the current prices for our favorite cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is at 94,314. Ethereum is at 1,806. XRP actually below the 220, 222, which I said is usually that range that it was stuck with last week. Now it is at 2.15, BNB being at 594, and Solana $144.80. So a little bit down from Friday, but still nothing to be worried about in my opinion. I think this is just the weekend slow that we are seeing, and we can actually see that affecting the Fear and Greed Index, which on Friday was around 56 and now it is 49. So you can see how the weekend kind of slows things down. You know, stock market's closed, everything else is closed, just crypto open, and that affects crypto because it has no volatility, no injection pretty much throughout late Friday all the way to early Monday. So talking about liquidations, we have seen here $209 million in total liquidations, and 79% of all these liquidations were from long positions. So the market went down and liquidated long positions. And looking right here at the current charts for Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin is now bouncing on the moving average right here. This is the yellow line, and maybe we were going to see a bounce towards the 97, 98. If we break above the 97, it will confirm everything that we're going to be talking about later on, because the 97 is a strong resistance right here. If we go above that and we're able to hold above that, then the 97 will become a very good support for Bitcoin. And then we could be looking for all-time highs, and we could be looking potentially to 120 and 150 as next targets for Bitcoin in the short term. Ethereum at 1805, also bouncing from this moving average right here, and it also has this orange line, which is the middle of the Bollinger, which acts a little bit like a moving average. So it should give some resistance here before going down. So I'm hopeful that it will hold around this area right here. And if we go to Solana the same. Solana is trading now very close to, right above it, the 100 moving average. Below it, we have the 9 moving average, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 9 moving average. And then we have the middle of the Bollinger right here. So it is kind of pinched on both sides. We have to see which way it moves. Of course, it will follow the market. So unless there's anything just Solana specific going down, which is very negative, it should follow the market. So if Bitcoin gives the market some momentum, Solana should be seeing some upward movement So XRP, we don't cover XRP much right here, but I have some XRP, so I keep an eye on it. And again, it should move in the same direction, maybe not with the same intensity as the market does, but still the same direction as everything else. Now, looking at the copy trade right here, we are seeing a lot of new people. We're currently 573 people, way above the 2 million now. We have $2 million, $37,795. So thank you very much. And we lost a little bit of the profits that we had, I think by Friday, which we were around 1%. Now we went back to 0.47, but still, this is only May 5th. So we still have a whole month to go. And most likely we're still going to see very good returns here for the copy trading strategy. And for my personal one, if you come right here, you see that I have a spread open right now. You can check it at the bottom. It is a 1775 and a 1725 put spread on Ethereum. And this one is very, very juicy. So if it works in my favor, this expires tomorrow, 8 a.m. UTC. So around 20 hours from now, 19 hours from now. So if it expires worthless, meaning that I get to keep the whole premium of this credit spread, I will be making 1.7%. I think that was, the editor is going to put right here, just this spread, how much is going to make, what is the ROI, maximum loss, maximum profit, all of that is in this card. And here we have the statistics for all of the 0DTE that we have been trading since Friday. And you can actually see all of them right here. You see all the profit and losses right here. So we had one Solana, and then everything after that was Ethereum, mainly because liquidity was a little bit better on Ethereum. But you can see all of them made me some money. Of course, when you see the net profit in dollars, you're going to see, wow, just $4, $4.8. It doesn't make much sense. But if you look at the percentage, you can see that the percentage is very good, even compared to the copy trading. So if we were able to scale that up and total margin that we're able to use, and throughout the whole year, we could be making above 150, maybe 200% on the year if you're able to compound these returns right here. So I'm very, very happy with this. But again, I'm training with this strategy right here. Doesn't mean that it will be like this forever. So far, all of the 3 trades, so 100% win rate on this. I'm still having to collect some data. And until I have like 50, 60 trades to analyze data from, it doesn't make sense for me to launch something to explain which strategy I'm doing, because I don't have enough data to share that with you anyways. It will be just me guessing, being profitable with these trades, and then trying to sell you something without having any data or foundation behind it. So we're just going to wait. I'm just going to keep sharing my returns with these spreads right here. All of them are put spreads, mainly because of the current situation that we are in. And for me, being a credit spread, I don't care if it is a call or a put spread. I just want it to be credit. I just want to collect premium, which is something that we're also going to be teaching you in the options course, which I'm working with the editor right now. As we speak, we are editing these videos and they should be out still this month. So May, you should have the course for free here on the topics for you to watch. So now let's talk about indicators. And one major indicator that we're seeing that is showing a very bullish scenario is the Bitcoin supply. We're most likely experiencing something called supply squeeze, which is when we have a lot of demand, but not enough supply to fulfill this demand for Bitcoin. So the short of supply was what made the rallies in 2015, 2018, and 2023. So in 2015, we saw a rally of 8,000% on the price of Bitcoin. 2018, we saw 1,700%, and 2023, we saw 350% increase in price. So all of these had the supply squeeze in common, meaning that there was not enough Bitcoin to fulfill all the demand that we had for Bitcoin. And now this is happening again. Last time we saw this was with the FTX collapse. When that collapsed, it created a huge void in the industry. We had a bottom, and then after that bottom, we started to pick up. And then this is when we saw all the rally, which came to the current all-time high of $108,000 for Bitcoin. And now after the tariff wars, we're seeing again the same indicators as last time. So this could be a huge opportunity for you to get in if you haven't yet. Another important data that we're seeing is the Bitcoin hash indicator. So we're looking at Bitcoin hash. You can see some dips, which is usually when it's not profitable for miners to keep running their machines. And when they shut it down, the hash goes down. You can see these red lines right here, which is when we had periods of hash rate drops on Bitcoin network. And that is because it wasn't profitable for miners to keep all of their machines working. So when these dips happen and use moving averages to see what is the average hash rate across a window of time, you can see that it shows you buying opportunities right after these dips in hash rate. As you can see, mark right here since 2018, and we just saw something like that. We just saw an indicator of a crossing average on current hash rate that shows us that we could still have another push on the Bitcoin price. Of course, this rally after the hash rate and the supply squeeze that we talked about, it hasn't been 100% win rate after all of these confirmations, because we had two cases in December 2019 and then in 2021 when we did have these signals. But then, for example, in 2019 to 2020, this is when the pandemic happened and then it crushed the market by 50%. And in July 2021 is when we had the Fed increasing interest rates. So the recession panic, the recession talks made the market go down from the top that they had at a time. So you can see that these indicators, they're not 100% right, but mainly these two times that they were wrong was from outside sources. So the pandemic and the Fed, it was not a market thing. It was not a market thing that happened. It was not a collapse or anything. It was just outside sources, as we mentioned before. So unless we see tariffs going very, very bad after 90 days, then Trump coming back and doubling down on the tariffs on countries that did not agree to anything, then yes, we could see a slowdown on the rally. But if not, if everything that Trump's trying to do is just to get new agreements, is just to get countries to, agree with him, then yeah, there shouldn't be a problem, because it wouldn't be an outside factor affecting the price of Bitcoin. So with all of this data, I want to see what do you think about this. So leave it down in the comments below if you think we are going to see the next 3 months being very, very profitable or not for Bitcoin and overall the crypto market. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for another one. Take care.